Today, I'm going to talk about self-care. Oh, look at my ears. Look at those little nubs. Today, I'm going to talk about self-care, and in front of me here, I've got some self-care things, like a face mask and lotion and Vaseline for all the many things it can be used for. Oh, and of course tweezers, because these need to be plucked. Self-care is one of those things that over the years it has become such a buzzword. It's everywhere, and it's such a popular and well-known thing. And every time you think of self-care, I am sure the same images come to mind. You're probably thinking of a face mask, maybe like lighting a candle, laying in bed, going to a spa, or reading a book maybe. These are all great things. They really are. But I am tired of it. I'm so tired of it. The idea of self-care has become such a commodity, such a product. There's a whole industry based around it now. And that's not what self-care is supposed to be. Again, I think it's great. These are all great things. You can do whatever you want, but I hate that there has become such an industry around it. And the whole concept of modern self-care that we think of now is such a commercialized image of the way things are supposed to be or how it's supposed to look. Modern self-care just feeds off of insecurities and problems in our daily life to make us buy products that they say will make us feel better. And that is not what self-care is supposed to be. Because I feel like nowadays, in like modern times, people are so overworked and busy and stressed, and this industry is trying to promote like face masks and spa days or products that they say is gonna help your problems, when I really feel like we just need to kind of go back to the basics of being a person and making sure that your needs are met and listening to your body and your mind and doing basic things that fuel your body, like drinking water and staying hydrated, or cooking meals and eating healthy food, or finally folding and putting away the giant mountain of laundry that has accumulated on your bedroom floor, or changing your gosh darn sheets that you haven't changed in 3 months because you're a disgusting human being, and also fitted sheets are the worst. Basically, I just feel like we need to move away from this stylized image of what self-care should be and focus on your body, making sure that your needs are met, and pointing out the flaws in this modern idea of what self-care should be. Also, this modern concept of self-care, like many other industries that feed off of your insecurities, is geared towards the female population. And I feel like that a lot of that has to do with how men and women are raised, and how we don't let men really like show emotion or express their feelings or take care of themselves because skincare is somehow gay. And on the other hand, women are expected to look a certain way, and the media constantly feeds off of these insecurities and forces products down our throat. Throats are one collective throat. There's a quote that I really love by Audre Lorde, bringing out the writer side of me for a moment, okay? And I actually have it written down because it's such a good quote. Caring for myself is not self-indulgence, it is self-preservation, and that is an act of political warfare. Self-care should be about community and self-truth and realizing your own potential and improvement of yourself and the community around you. It should be changing and dynamic and being sensitive to your needs and your thoughts and your feelings, as well as the people around you, and using that in a pursuit of worldly improvement. Not just splurging on a $50 pair of shoes to treat yourself. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, but there's so much more to self-care than this buzzword it is now. I just feel like self-care should be like raw and powerful and like tapping into yourself, not this like artificial thing we've put around ourselves. It feels more like we've turned it into some sort of distraction against real life, to kind of look the other way on a lot of things and not really deal with issues. I feel like it should be about working on yourself and working through those issues rather than just kind of turning a blind eye to things. This lotion smells so good. This is like one of my favorite lotions. It's the Bath & Body Works Aromatherapy Eucalyptus Spearmint. Stress relief. It'll relieve your stress. Please go buy it. I just feel like we've turned self-care into this thing with an underlying motive of still pandering to the media and like how the media wants us to look. Oh god, I sound so like conspiracy, like, oh, the media. But like, especially for women and female identifying people, the media really expects us to look a certain way or behave a certain way, and I feel like this modern self-care is just a way for them to kind of make us feel like we're doing something for ourselves, while ultimately feeding into this bigger picture. And I don't know, maybe I am sounding like a big conspiracy theorist, but I'm tired of it. Look, I love face masks as much as the next person, but there's so much more to it. Now, I'm not saying everything about modern self-care is bad, because as I've mentioned, there are a lot of products and like commercialized aspects of it, but I still do see a lot of really good suggestions, like journaling or meditating or doing something to stimulate your spiritual needs. I just hate the fact that nowadays it's like, oh, I'm gonna have a self-care night, and then it's always just like chilling in a bathtub with a face mask. And again, nothing wrong with that, but when that is your whole definition of what self-care is, it kind of like defeats the whole purpose of like what it truly is meant to be. Okay, I'm gonna go wash this off because it is dry. Self-care is just one of those topics that is such a buzzword, but I feel like people don't truly like dive deep into what it is and how really powerful it is. And also, I think we need to take a step back from the made-up artificial picture of these products and understand that really simple acts, such as going to bed when your body feels tired, or logging off of social media when you realize that it's just filling your mind with negative thoughts. I just feel like there's a lot of power and strength in it that we're not seeing. And again, I'm not coming for the stereotypical images we see when we think of self-care, but as I also have to remind myself a lot, there's so much more to it than just that. I don't know. I just feel like it's turned into this big whole industry, and I wish it wasn't. I also just wish, as Americans, we didn't overwork ourselves so much to the point that this industry had to come about. Anyway, self-care. Those were just some thoughts going through my head, and I wanted to talk about it. I think it's important, and I want to share my opinions and feelings about it. On that note, I also want to say self-care is important, and I hope that all of you have things in your life that you can consider as self-care and things to fall back on when you are feeling stressed out and busy and overworked. Even if it is taking a bath and drinking a glass of wine, just know that you don't have to feed into every single thing that they're trying to sell you. And even small, basic acts that make you feel good, no matter what they are, is still self-care. Hello, editing Adele here from the future. I feel like as I'm editing this right now, I feel like I can come off as a little cynical, maybe a little judgmental, and I don't want to come off that way at all. Again, I completely understand that doing a face mask can be self-care, and I think everybody can feel that way, and that totally can be an act of self-care for people. I like doing a face mask and playing Sims for 5 hours. That is self-care for me. I just hate that it's become an industry where it's kind of believed that you can't have self-care without these things, because you totally can. And that really small acts of kindness to yourself, your body, other people in your life is still totally self-care. You don't need products to have self-care or practice self-care in your life. You can have all the totally materialistic and whatever acts of self-care in your life, because I know I do, but There is so much more than that. That is not the whole definition of self-care. I just really hate how commercialized it's become when I feel like the initial sole purpose is being true to yourself, and it's kind of an inner reflection sort of personal thing. That's all I'm trying to say. I really hope I don't come off as super judgmental or anything. But yeah, just wanted to kind of explain myself a little bit more because this video was not scripted, or I didn't really know what I was gonna say. It is a total rant vent situation where I just kind of talked, and sometimes just talking is not the best. I don't really get my point across very well sometimes. But yeah, just kind of wanted to explain that a little bit more. Back to the video. Anyway, I think that's all I really want to talk about. I know this video is kind of different than normal, but that's okay. It was self-care for me to talk about my feelings. Alright, that's all. Thank you for watching this weird video. I hope you enjoyed. Comment down below and let me know what you think, if you agree, if you disagree, etc. I always like hearing other people's opinions on topics like this, so let me know what you think. And yeah, I will see y'all in my next video.